The island is silent. No warning, no roar, no chase. Just heat. Thick, unmoving, suffocating heat. A deer steps cautiously through the dry grass, ears twitching, scanning for danger. It sees nothing, hears nothing. But it's already too late. Hours from now, maybe days, it will collapse. Not from a violent attack, not from a dramatic hunt, but from something far more unsettling. Something invisible. A single bite, almost insignificant, barely a wound. And yet, it carries a death sentence. Because the predator here doesn't need to chase. It doesn't need to overpower. It only needs to wait. How does a creature kill without attacking?
At first glance, the Komodo dragon doesn't seem mysterious. It's the largest lizard on Earth, reaching over 3 meters in length, weighing up to 90 kilograms. It looks prehistoric, almost exaggerated. Thick scales, muscular limbs, and a long, heavy tail built for force. But what truly defines this animal isn't its size. It's its strategy. Unlike lions or wolves, Komodo dragons rarely engage in prolonged chases. They don't rely on endurance. They don't hunt in coordinated packs. And often, they don't even need to finish the job. Observers have documented something deeply unsettling. A Komodo dragon bites its prey, and then simply lets it go. No pursuit, no urgency, just patience. And yet, days later, that same animal is found dead, weak, disoriented, collapsed somewhere in the dry terrain. The dragon returns, calmly, as if it always knew the outcome. So what happened in between? For decades, scientists debated this mystery. Was it infection? Was it venom? Was it something else entirely? Because what we're looking at isn't just a predator. It's a system. A biological mechanism designed not for speed, but inevitability.
To understand how the Komodo dragon kills without attacking, we need to dismantle one of the most persistent myths in animal biology. For years, the dominant theory was simple: bacteria. Komodo dragons were believed to have toxic bacteria in their saliva, so dangerous that even a small bite would infect prey with deadly pathogens. Early observations seemed to support this. Wounds inflicted by Komodo dragons often led to severe infections. Prey animals showed signs of sepsis, fever, weakness, and eventual organ failure. But there was a problem. When scientists began isolating these bacteria, they found something unexpected. There was nothing uniquely lethal about them. The bacteria in a Komodo dragon's mouth were not significantly different from those found in other carnivores. So if not bacteria, then what? The answer came from a deeper look, one that required imaging technology, anatomical analysis, and biochemical study. And what researchers discovered changed everything. Komodo dragons are venomous, but not in the way most people imagine. This isn't the fast-acting neurotoxin of a cobra. It's not designed for immediate paralysis. Instead, it's slow, subtle, systemic. Inside the lower jaw of the Komodo dragon are venom glands, complex structures that produce a cocktail of proteins. These compounds do something remarkable. They disrupt the prey's ability to survive from the inside. When the dragon bites, its serrated teeth tear flesh, creating deep wounds. But alongside the physical damage, venom enters the bloodstream. This venom has multiple effects. It prevents blood clotting.
For centuries, humans misunderstood the Komodo dragon. Early explorers described it as a monstrous reptile, exaggerating its aggression, portraying it as a mindless killer. Local legends told stories of dragons with supernatural abilities, creatures that could curse their victims or bring slow, inevitable death. In a way, those myths weren't entirely wrong. But science brought clarity. In the early 20th century, Western scientists began studying these animals more systematically. What they found challenged assumptions about reptilian intelligence, behavior, and physiology. Komodo dragons were not reckless predators. They were strategic, measured, almost calculated. Modern research institutions have continued to study their venom systems, revealing insights that extend far beyond zoology. The anticoagulant properties of Komodo venom, for example, have sparked interest in medical research. Understanding how these compounds prevent clotting could lead to advancements in treating cardiovascular diseases. Their ability to induce controlled shock responses has also raised questions about how similar mechanisms might be studied in trauma medicine. In other words, this animal isn't just a biological curiosity. It's a source of knowledge. But there's another layer to this story, one that connects directly to our world today. Komodo dragons exist in a fragile ecosystem, restricted to a handful of Indonesian islands. Climate change, habitat loss, and human activity threaten their survival. And yet, their existence represents something irreplaceable. A living example of evolutionary innovation.
So, does the Komodo dragon really kill without attacking? Not exactly. It attacks once, and that's enough. Because the true weapon isn't the bite itself. It's what the bite sets in motion. This changes how we define predation. We often imagine hunting as a moment, a burst of speed, a violent encounter, a decisive end. But in this case, the hunt extends across time. The dragon initiates a process, then allows biology to finish it. There's no urgency, no rush, only certainty. And perhaps that's the most unsettling part. The prey doesn't realize it's already lost. It continues moving, feeding, behaving as if nothing has changed. But internally, the system is collapsing. This strategy raises a deeper question. How many processes in nature operate like this? Invisible, delayed, inevitable. Where cause and effect are separated not by space, but by time. The Komodo dragon forces us to rethink what it means to act. Because sometimes, the most powerful action is the one that doesn't need to be repeated.
On a remote island, under a relentless sun, a predator waits. Not with speed, not with noise, but with certainty. It has already done what it needed to do. The rest is just time. And maybe that's the deeper lesson hidden within this creature. Power doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't always strike repeatedly or dramatically. Sometimes it acts once, precisely, and lets the world unfold. The Komodo dragon doesn't chase its prey to exhaustion. It lets biology, chemistry, and time do the work. A reminder that in nature, the most effective systems are often the ones we barely notice. Quiet, efficient, unavoidable. And by the time we understand them, it's already too late.